What's going on, guys? MMA Island team, we are back. We got the co-main event of the evening. As I mentioned, I'll leave it to Bruce Buffer, even though there wasn't Bruce Buffer last week, if you guys watched the fight picks last week. But I'll leave it to the co-main event of the evening. Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley, taking on Marlon Chito Vera. Man, if you're going to try and tell me that this isn't an interesting matchup, you're insane. Very, very interesting matchup. I'm going first, right? I'm talking about this one first?
You're going
All
first.
right.
You're going first.
All right, I'll talk about this one first. I have no problem here. So the first thing I'll mention is Sugar Sean O'Malley. Obviously one of the biggest hype trains, if not the biggest hype train in the UFC right now. Undefeated, 8 KOs, 1 submission, 3 decisions. If there's anything we know about Sugar Sean O'Malley is he has that it factor. That doesn't play anything when you're in the cage. Obviously, I'm not talking about his KO power. That is another factor of it factor. But what I'm talking about is just who he is as a person. And when we talk about the fighter, Sugar Sean O'Malley, taking on Marlon Chito Vera, who trains with Team Oyama, who's a very good gym.
Solid camp.
Also got Alex Perez in there, one of my interviews and a very good friend. We got Marlon Vera, who, as we saw in his last fight with Song Yadong, man, who do you think won that fight? I'll pass it to you to start that one off. Who do you think won that fight?
Vera.
And I would have to agree with you. So if you call that fight a win, he's on a 6-fight win streak. Obviously, you can't just call it a win. But if you do, power to you, 6-fight win streak for Chito Vera. This is a tough fight to call, man, because Sean O'Malley, if you're going to try and tell me that this isn't Sean O'Malley's biggest test yet, you're insane. People are saying, oh, they're guarding O'Malley. You don't know who Marlon Vera is. Marlon Vera is a beast. And if you talk about the ground game here, Vera has the advantage, I would say. And talking about striking, I watched back his fight with Wineland. And there were some things about O'Malley, like I'm not discrediting O'Malley whatsoever. And I'll just give away my pick to start off. I am picking O'Malley. But there were some setups in his striking. I'm not saying I saw holes in his game. I'm not Kevin Lee, but I was seeing kind of advantages where people could take advantage of the ends of his strikes. And I'd have to watch it again. I don't want to sound like an idiot for saying he's got holes in his games, but just it's not like he is just this absolutely amazing striker. I would say he's a very good striker. I think he's probably could be one of the top in the division. I'm definitely on the hype train with O'Malley. I think he's very, very good. We haven't seen any holes in his game at all. It's just that striking game. He's prone to being hit. We saw him get hit in the Wineland fight as well before he obviously got the crazy knockout. But Vera hits hard, man, and Vera's got the pressure. This is a very, very interesting fight. And to see them go against each other, it's kind of Sugar Sean O'Malley is very, very accurate, and he's got power. He's able to finish guys. Vera has never been finished. So if you're going to say O'Malley wins, are you going to say it's by knockout or are you going to say it's by decision? That's one thing, because I think a lot of people are going to be going with O'Malley on this one, as am I. But it's kind of interesting to see if people are going to think he's going to win by KO or if he's going to win by decision. Because if you think he wins by KO, hey, man, can you really say that? Because obviously O'Malley has been getting these KOs and is a very powerful striker, very good striker, accurate, could be one of the most technically advanced strikers in the division. And then Vera's never been finished. He's fought some pretty tough competition. So it's tough to say, man, because you got to give the ground advantage to Vera here. And if Vera wants to take it to the ground, which I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to take it to the ground, he's got a huge advantage there. It's tough to say, man. It's really, really tough to say. I will go with O'Malley just because, as I mentioned, that whole technical ability, he has a very, very big advantage technically striking, but I think he's got better striking defense. I mentioned how O'Malley can get hit. Vera can get hit as well. It's just a matter of the fact that we haven't seen O'Malley fight guys to the caliber of Vera. And I think if he beats Vera here, we're going to see even bigger of we're going to see even tougher competition. And that's always going to be something to talk about because we haven't really seen it yet. So it's going to be really tough to see. That's always the toughest part about hype trains. It's not like they go up and down and up and down, tough in competition, not so tough. They're always going to keep getting progressively tougher competition. So definitely something to take into play here is Vera. Vera is not somebody you want to underestimate. Yeah, man, I'm going to go with O'Malley here. I'm going to say he gets it done by decision. I just don't think Vera is going to get finished. I think Vera's fought some very, very tough guys, and I don't think Sugar Sean O'Malley is going to be able to finish him. I think he gets a pretty definitive decision victory. I think he wins every round. But not going to discredit Vera here because Vera could very easily take it to the ground, hold him there for 3 minutes, and kind of survive standing up and steal a round there. And then who knows? Maybe he could hold him to the ground and be fighting for a submission for 3 minutes as well. Get back standing up. 2 minutes surviving striking. At that point, O'Malley needs a knockout. So if you're picking Vera here, man, I don't fault you. I kind of commend you for that. I'm going to go with O'Malley. I'm kind of leaving that sort of path for Vera as well, just because I can see it. And I think if you're an MMA fan, you kind of have to see it, that path to victory for Vera, because it is there. And we've seen it with hype trains in the past. And I don't think Vera is going to be able to get it done here, because I think O'Malley is kind of a justified hype train. I think that he's shown the striking ability, that he's not just a hype train. He's not just talk. He is able to strike with the best in the division, and he's getting a very tough competition here with Vera. So I'm going to stop repeating my words. I'm just really excited for the fights here. I'll pass it on to Zach. I'm very interested to see what he has to say. Actually, hold up. UFC calculator. Forgot to mention the last one. JDS, 66.4% chance. Not so much. I don't agree with that one. But anyways, O'Malley, 64.8. So it's got that path to victory, man. I'll pass it on to Zach.
So I just want to touch on something you mentioned earlier to start what I have to say off. You said that Marlon Vera can take this fight to the ground. I don't know about that one. Marlon, no, you can't even debate that Marlon Vera is not a wrestler. That is the one part of his game that he is missing, is his wrestling game. So how do you think, okay, Marlon Vera has this amazing jiu-jitsu game. It is just absolutely incredible. So how does he get the fight to the ground if he can't take down his opponents? Now, that's a very good question. Marlon Vera thrives in one location, in the clinch. Marlon Vera is an absolute monster in there. And that's one thing that's interesting, because this fight's a big test for Sean O'Malley in a lot of ways. We haven't seen Sean O'Malley get tested in the clinch like Marlon Vera will do to him. Now, if he decides to chew him up with elbows and knees or take him down to the ground, we have yet to see. But I do believe that Vera would want to take the fight to the ground because he has the advantage there. No matter how much Tim Welch says that Sugar Sean O'Malley's jiu-jitsu is there, I just think no matter how much he can train, Vera's is going to be better. But there's a big but here. Marlon Vera has this one fatal flaw in his game. He is a notoriously slow starter. He loses most of the first rounds he fights in. And he's fighting one of the fastest starters we have seen so far in MMA. Sean O'Malley fires out of the gate like a bat out of hell. And he brings a very interesting game into his fight, because he fights with his kicks. Is a kick-centric striking style. And that's what makes him so unique. That's what makes him so hard to counter. And another thing is that Chito Vera is hittable as all hell. He's so good, and he goes on this win streak, yet he has a pretty low negative strike differential. And you know me, I value strike differentials as a very important stat. I'm not going to do the math right now, but 3.7 landed to 4.11 absorbed with a 52% defense. Now, that may sound good, but because, you're blocking more than half the strikes, but that's below the UFC average. And you want to have a good striking defense when you face Sean O'Malley. It's not because Sean O'Malley is the most powerful striker in the world, because he's not. He finds these angles to knock people out. Well, I just gave it away, because he has these striking angles. Like we saw in Adrian Yanez in the Contender Series tonight, angles are everything. If you hit a hook right on the chin, if that perfect angle, you don't have to throw much heat into it. You're going out. And that's the thing. I do think that if this fight goes into the later rounds, Marlon Vera has the advantage. Absolutely. But as long as this fight stays a striking battle, I think O'Malley has the advantage, because he can keep his distance. That's one thing that Sean O'Malley does on a lot of his opponents, especially lately. He doesn't let anyone get in on him. He doesn't let people get in close, and Vera is going to have to get in close. But O'Malley, no, he throws his wild head kicks. He wants people to stay back. And that's what's going to go into my prediction for this fight. I'm going to have to say Sean O'Malley gets the win, but by all means, if you want to make some money, bet on Chito Vera because he can absolutely win this fight. And the line is ridiculous. Chito Vera is like a plus 250 or plus 275. Absolutely bet the hell out of Chito Vera because this fight is way, way winnable for him. But I just think the path to victory favors Sean O'Malley's style a lot more. So if he doesn't knock him out in the first, I do think he'll go for a striking decision. But yet again, do not be surprised if Marlon Vera wins this fight. Do not be surprised at all. But I think the Suga Show keeps on rolling for now.
Yeah. So, yeah, you mentioned the whole clinch game and everything like that. Vera being able to bring it in and man, I can't stress this enough there, and especially bringing up the betting odds. There is that path to victory for Vera. It's a matter of if you value O'Malley, what we've seen out of him, because I think you would agree that this is O'Malley's biggest test.
Oh, absolutely. 100% by far.
And if you don't agree, I think you're insane. So it's tough to say, man. And there's so many of these. This is why I love doing these fight pick videos, because we're able to kind of dissect it a little bit more and think about it a little bit more and understand what there is and what there isn't with these fights. So really, really excited for this one. I know you guys are too, but let us know what you got. If anyone's got Vera, hey, man, let us know. All the power to you. I'm really, really excited to see. But make sure you guys are showing your loves. We're getting too much hate recently. You got to show us love in the comments and like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys are also checking out the other fight pick videos, because the next one, we got the main event, and you better be watching in order. We'll see you there.